Nobody's forcing you to make the choices that you're making. No one's forcing you to eat the things that you're eating or skip the workout class. These are all decisions that you are making. Stop depending on other people to get up and move their ass for you. Like, that's just not how it works. And as soon as I stopped playing victim and crying about it and realized, like, nobody's holding a gun to your head, girl. If you want to eat the pizza, eat the pizza. Stop crying. You are now tuned in to the In Those Jeans limited series, dedicated to the 16-year-old version of me who was fighting to feel good in her own body. In 2 months, I'll be turning twice her age. So I figured, as a gift from me to her, why not heal her for good? This video is for anyone who feels like the reason they can't lose weight is because you just feel like it's so hard to get into a routine and constantly find yourself kind of falling off of the wagon just to figure out how to get back on again, just to end up falling off again. That was the story of my life. So I'm really making this video for the person I was last year from the perspective of the person who has figured it out. So by the end of this video, you will absolutely know how to take action literally as early as today and block out the noise, regardless what you have going on outside of that. And if you haven't been here before, hello, my love. I am your tough, loving big sis, Rima, and you are officially tuned in to episode 3 of the In Those Jeans series, which is this crazy limited series I'm doing where I am challenging myself in 2 months to fit into a pair of jeans that is currently 2 sizes too small. If you want the surprisingly deep backstory on why I'm doing this, definitely go ahead and check out the first episode of this. Today's episode and check-in are going to be very interesting because I am reporting to you live from day 5 of Shark Week. If you know, you know. My body is doing all sorts of interesting things. And let's just say that the snitch cam has even more to tell you than it would on a typical week. And I'm already trying to make up for that this week, but we'll get into that a little bit later. For context, we took a spontaneous trip to visit family in Minneapolis. And it's so ironic because I had already planned to make episode 3 about trying to like stay on track regardless of outside influences or travel. And then we literally randomly decided to travel. I just thought that that was funny. It kind of put my money where my mouth is. And I'm so proud to say that I have become somebody who will work out 5 times a week, if not more, regardless where I am in the world. And that used to be one of the most challenging things for me to do in the past. No matter how consistent I would get to when I'm here in LA, it seemed like anytime I would go somewhere else, I just became a completely different person. I will say, as you will see, the eating part still is challenging for me. I've gotten so much better, but as you'll see a little bit later, we're not going to blame it all on Shark Week. I did indulge a little bit more than I planned to, so I have some thoughts as to how I'm going to make up for that over the next couple of weeks. Before we check in with our jeans and our measurements, let's talk about what happened last week. As you know, my goal since starting this challenge consistently has been to work out 5 times a week, rain or shine, whether I'm home or elsewhere, it doesn't matter, no excuses. And so week 3 of this challenge was a 5 out of 5. I'll even give myself a 6 out of 5 because we actually played tennis. So the second we decided we're going to Minnesota, I'm like, oh shoot, we're going at the end of this week. Things get a little bit crazy when we're there with my Tasmanian devil brother-in-law. And so let me be proactive and get more workouts in while I'm home. Ahmed and I actually decided to do cycling. I have never done a cycling class, you guys. We went to Cycle Bar. It's not my cup of tea. I'm glad I did it and it was a fun experience and I'll probably do it again. But let's just say it's not for me. I don't know if any of you guys like to cycle. Actually, let me know down below what your preferred workout is. I'm more of like a F45 weight training and occasional Pilates girly. The cycling was a little bit too turnt for me and the playlist wasn't really my playlist. I feel like maybe if they played like hip hop, R&B, you know, some trap music, I would have been cycling a little harder, but Ahmed loved it. He was killing it. It wasn't my thing. Either way, it got me to my 5 workouts that week and I was just so proud of myself for taking action and making it happen. As for my meals, I started off great while in LA. I've had this goal since I've started to have 5 high protein dinners cooked at home. I have not quite hit that goal yet. I got really close last week and then I typically do prep my lunches anyways. I will say since I've started this challenge, I have gotten so much better at eating at home and kind of like to what we talked about last episode, just not really prioritizing my cravings and more so prioritizing what is just good enough. Like this little little protein shake right here. It really doesn't taste all that great. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've tasted way better protein shakes, but whey protein makes me break out. So I've had to switch over to like a vegan protein. And because I'm a maximizer, I'm like, if I'm gonna drink some nasty protein shake, it better give me at least 30 grams of protein. And this one does, so I just suck it up and drink it, whether I'm thirsty or hungry or craving it or not. Because I can assure you, I never really crave this right here. But speaking of cravings, my cravings were working overtime last week. I actually didn't even realize I was getting my period. I'm not really good at tracking that. We were eating fried food. We were eating crumble cookies. We went to visit my brother-in-law's new restaurant, and so we obviously had to try all of that. But then there was a bubble tea place right next to it, and the branding was just so irresistibly cute that I'm like, I'm obviously gonna get a bubble tea. So let's just say that this past weekend, as far as food, did not go as disciplined as I had originally planned. And this is just me being 100% real with you guys. Like, I am not starting this series to come on here and be like, I have all my shit together. Look at how I'm doing it. No, I'm coming on here to let you know the snitch cam might have something to tell you guys every single week, but I'm going to fit in those jeans. Regardless, I am on my shit, and it's because of the 3 rules we're gonna get into right after I check in this week. All right, so meet me in my bathroom so we could see what these jeans are looking like during Shark Week.
You all around me, getting anxious. Leave me alone, like back is all about you. In the dark right now, feeling lost, but I like it. Comfort in my sins, all about me. All I got right now, feel a taste of resentment, simmer in my skin. It's all about.
I just want to call out that the jeans buckled. Like, there's no situation where I would ever leave the house feeling the way that the jeans feel on me right now, because genuinely I couldn't breathe, and then like it just was gripping areas of my stomach and butt in ways that were just very uncomfortable. But the jeans buckled, and the reason that that is so important for you and I to discuss today is because my measurements in most places stayed the same. My butt got a tiny bit bigger, as you saw, and my belly went up from last week, although it's a net negative from week 1. Week 1, we were at a 37.5. Week 2, we were down to like a 36.25, and now we're back up to a 37. Okay, I don't know if it was the extra little sweet treats or Shark Week or both working overtime, but I'm not mad at it because that is normal. I will say I would have been nervous to get on the scale today because I feel a little inflated. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just feel a little bit bigger this week. And because I already felt that way, had I gotten on the scale, I would have been so freaking nervous. And if that number affirmed those nerves, it would have destroyed my day, destroyed my week. Then I would have gone down this spiral of falling off, literally, like not working out, probably not focusing on eating because I would have felt overwhelmed and like there's no point. And then because of the habit of falling off, I would have ended up gaining weight. But what would I have told myself? Oh, it's just not working, I'm gaining weight. Whereas this week, I feel inflated, I feel heavy, but my measurements are relatively looking the same, except my butt. That's exciting. But the jeans are fitting better. And that is exactly why I gave myself something as objective as a pair of jeans, so that I don't allow the confusion and ups and downs of something as unreliable as a scale mess with my emotions, because I'm holding on to that feeling of neutrality. It is so important to feel as neutral as possible throughout this journey so that your emotions up and down don't just sway you in different directions. I feel very neutral. I feel very in control. And I do feel proud of myself for the way that I'm going about this. What I will be changing this week, I think I'm going to start incorporating at least 30 minutes of the treadmill 3 times a week. I work out a lot. I do not walk a lot. And so even with my intense workouts, there are days where I don't get 10,000 steps a day. And I would say I average around maybe like 8,000 steps. But if I'm trying to take it up a notch, especially because I took the eating up a notch last week, then that's an easy way for me to just pop on a YouTube video and get a little bit of extra activity. I'm going to start with 3 times this week because that feels very safe and doable. We can check in again next week on how that went. But another goal that I'm going to prioritize this week, and I'm already doing great, is actually tracking my protein intake. So I really do focus on protein when I'm selecting what to eat. When I'm cooking the recipes that I cook, I try to make sure that the protein to calorie ratio is really good. But if I'm being honest, like I don't actually know how much protein I'm getting at the end of the day. And especially because I don't eat breakfast, if I'm not like focused on my protein intake, I probably will not hit my goal of at least 120, if not 150 grams of protein for my body and my weight. Okay, yesterday I think I hit around 128, and that was really good. This little 32-gram protein shake gets me over that finish line instead of an empty beverage like the third coffee that I would have drank that day. So those are my intentions for the week to come. I'm so excited to kind of check in with you and see how I did. All right, the moment we have all been waiting for. My 3 rules for blocking out the noise and staying focused wherever I go or whoever comes to me. These are the 3 rules I've been implementing on every single trip to make sure I stayed on track with my goals. This first rule changed everything for me. Rule number 1 is to understand that you are not a victim and you need to reframe your story around these goals. We would not feel bad for Beyonce if everybody was eating pizza and she said she wanted to order a salad. Like, we wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, that's so sad. She has this goal of like staying in shape and staying healthy, and it's just so sad that she has to do that. No, none of us would feel bad for Beyonce. We wouldn't look at her like she's a basket case. At least I wouldn't. I would look at it like Beyonce low-key thinks she's better than us because she is. I'm just kidding. But we would look at her like she feels like her body is this vessel that she needs to take care of. I'm not saying that you should never eat pizza, and I'm not saying Beyonce never eats pizza. My point is that there are people who have elected to make choices for their body and for their health because of whatever goals that they have. Whether in Beyonce's case, it's to get up and sell out a world tour and get up on stage and shake her butt and look sexy doing it. Or maybe it's a CEO of a Fortune 500 company who understands that food is fuel and they want to make sure that they're in tip-top mental shape. Whatever it is, these people have high standards for themselves. So when they don't do things that other people do, we look at it as they have high standards for themselves and they're electing to do that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because for the longest time when I would make these different choices, I would tell myself this story that I'm just like pathetic and I can't be like everybody else. It's so sad that I have this weight loss goal and I can't just eat with everyone. It is just so depressing that everyone can just focus on eating and I have to be a little bit more deliberate about maybe tracking my calories or focusing on my protein goal. Tracking calories used to trigger me a lot for that reason, because the story that I was telling myself is it's really pathetic that you have to do this. Instead of, you have a goal that is different from the person next to you's goal, and you get to do that. Theoretically, when my husband wants to eat pizza 3 times a week, I could do that. I'm just choosing not to. And I'm choosing not to because I have also chosen this goal of losing weight. Nobody's forcing me to lose weight. Nobody's telling me I have to lose weight. That's something I had the privilege to choose to do. And thankfully, I have the resources to be able to do. And so I am choosing to do that because it's something that makes me happy. And as soon as I stop playing victim and crying about it and realize like nobody's holding a gun to your head, girl. If you want to eat the pizza, eat the pizza. Stop crying. That was when things got better for me because I'm like, whoa, I'm doing something positive for myself and it is a choice. And the second it doesn't feel like the choice that I want to make anymore, I don't have to do it. So stop doing this thing where you're choosing to want to lose weight, but then also feeling bad about yourself for making that choice. It's just very contradictory. It doesn't really make sense. And then on top of that, we do live in a day and age where there are so many healthy meals that taste bomb. They taste so good. There are so many amazing high protein, low calorie recipes that I've been able to find on TikTok. And as soon as I reframed the way I was looking at it, I started feeling so grateful for the fact that I have the resources and the ability and the free will to even do something like this for myself. So understand, my love, that this is all a choice. Stop crying and have fun with it because it genuinely can be fun if you just let it. Rule number 2 really helps with rule number 1, and that is that this is not a forever thing. You will not have to do this forever. The whole point of a weight loss journey is that it's a journey with a beginning and an end. And I'm not saying that health has a beginning and an end. I'm saying that if you have a specific goal, in my case, I'm trying to fit into these jeans, then there's clearly an end date there. I don't have to be as disciplined as I am right now. The whole point of me wanting to lose weight is actually to give myself more opportunity to be present in my day to day. I'm being more strict and more deliberate and more focused for a short period of time. Even if that short period of time is a year, That is nothing in comparison to the rest of your life. And so for me, I had to remind myself of this because I would find myself going on these trips and feeling like, oh my God, it's so sad that everyone's eating at this place that they only have in Dubai, and I just shouldn't be doing that. So I'm electing for the healthier option. And that's just so sad because I'm in Dubai and like I should be eating at places that I can't get back home. And then I looked at myself in the mirror like, girl, you go to Dubai every year. In my case, right? You go to Dubai every year. It will literally be there next year when you come back. So you really don't need to do it this time. And if you are dying for it, and if it's one of the places you're dying to have while you're here, that's completely valid. Make that your cheat meal. But don't go into this trip, this month-long trip, with the mindset that you're never going to come back here because you know that you have family here and you visit every single year. Obviously, I hope you understand that if you're going to Italy once in your life, okay, if you're taking a trip somewhere where you probably won't come back, then that's completely different. And that is an experience. And in that case, when I've been in those situations, I've indulged and tried things that I know I will never try again, and just made up for it in walking extra or working out extra, or just deciding that for that trip, I'm just not going to care and I will worry about it when I'm home. I think that it just requires you being very level-headed and very practical about what matters more to you. I know for me, the places that we typically travel, which is Dubai to visit family, Lebanon to visit family, Minnesota to visit family, like those are our three main places, and often Michigan as well. I'm going back to those places quite often. And if I'm on this journey right now and I'm trying to stay focused right now, then I don't need to have this scarcity mindset where everything I eat the whole time I'm there is something that I can never get back home, and it's this like amazing fast food joint. I'll give you an example of a time where I do splurge. So whenever we go to Lebanon, there's this shawarma spot that is just unbelievable, and the shawarma sandwich is literally like 5 times the size as it normally is. Like a normal shawarma is like 4 to 6 inches. This one might be like a foot long, okay? And every single time we go to Lebanon, even if it's just for a week, I make sure to eat boring, healthy stuff for the majority of the week. So fattoush and tawout, which is like grilled chicken, right? As healthy as it can get. So that when I splurge on this sandwich, I'm eating all 12 inches of that sandwich without feeling anything about it. And that is an example of me being very intentional about something that I can only get once a year. Yes, I go to Lebanon every year, but I'm not willing to pass up a year of not indulging in that because it's so good. So I make sure to be intentional about it. But there's a billion other places in Lebanon that only exist there that I don't feel the need to be that intentional about because I'm okay passing up on them. The whole point here is just don't approach this journey through a scarcity mindset unless there's real life scarcity. Like unless you're going to a country or a place or some sort of experience or a birthday party where you won't be there and you won't be able to do that thing again. And you know that that experience will be so important to you. But don't allow your victim mindset about this to put you in a place where you feel like you have FOMO every time people are experiencing something. This is not a forever thing. So it is completely okay to be more disciplined, more restricted for a short period of time so you could buy yourself a lifetime of being more present and more free. Rule number 3 is to plan ahead. I cannot stress this one enough. This has completely changed the game for me. No matter where I am traveling, I am looking things up and planning ahead and being proactive. I don't care if I'm going to France like this past summer. I am researching a local gym. Thankfully, when we go to France with my brother, he's already done that research because he's on it too. But I'm making sure that I can get into that gym. Every single time we go to Minnesota, or if I've had to travel for work, I am going on ClassPass, which is what I use, and looking up the local gyms in that area and what is closest to the hotel or closest to wherever I'm staying. And I am pre-booking my classes. You might be like, well, I don't know what the schedule is I don't care. If this is a priority to you, then the schedule that you guys have can work around this. I guarantee you, if you're going on vacation with friends or family, ain't nobody trying to do anything at 8 a.m. Okay, so just book the class at 8 a.m. and then let them know that they need to work around that and they will figure it out. I have never had an issue with booking a workout class when visiting friends or family and it actually conflicting with something that was more important than me getting my workout in. If you are an evening workout person, hit up the group chat and ask them, What do we have planned? I plan on working out every night at 4:30. Is that going to be a problem? I really, really want to stress the importance of not figuring it out when you get there. Trust me when I say this, it is difficult. It will always be busier than you think it is when you're traveling. It'll always be harder to adjust after the flight, especially now in my 30s. I feel like I get jet lag wherever I go, even if it's domestically. So make a plan. And I find that on longer trips, you have maximum 3 days to get your shit together. For me, I try to hit the ground running literally the next day. As many times as I can, by the next day, I try to set the tone for the person that I'm going to be on that trip. And that is always what yields the best result. If I were to be even more proactive the next time we go, and hopefully you can hold me to this in the next few months when I decide to go back, is I will deliver specific groceries to our house there so that I can make sure I don't have an excuse to not eat at home instead of delivering or going out to eat. That's something that I could have definitely done to be even 1% proactive. But guess what? Literally on the airplane ride back from Minnesota, I delivered groceries to our apartment to arrive at 6 a.m. the next morning so that I could hit the ground running literally as soon as we got here. And that is exactly what I did. So it's all about understanding yourself, my love, and just thinking about the gaps in your desired behaviors. What is it that you are wanting to do that you are not doing? And what are potential solutions that work for you? But even more important than applying and implementing those potential solutions is reframing the story that you tell yourself about that. Let's say you go on a trip with a bunch of friends and you guys are in an Airbnb and everyone's trying to deliver food and you decided to go grocery shopping and make like a high protein salmon and veggies meal that night. If the story that you're going to tell yourself is, woe is me, it's so depressing, everyone's out here eating In-N-Out or Popeyes and I'm over here eating salmon. If that is the story that you're telling yourself, you're gonna last maximum 1 to 2 days doing that. And not only that, you're going to feel bad about yourself. Instead of feeling proud of yourself that you did something good, you're going to feel bad about yourself. And that's why rule number 1 and even rule number 2 of like, this isn't permanent is so important to keep in mind when you are making these lifestyle changes, because it's going to help you see that this is not this depressing, sad story of all these sacrifices you need to make. No, this is an amazing, exciting, awe-worthy narrative of somebody who is taking action, who gets to take action towards the person that they want to be. This is you being Beyonce and deciding that the goal that you have for your life and for yourself is so important, and it does not matter what they're doing over here on my left and they're doing over here on my right, because this is what I'm doing over here. But most importantly, nobody is shoving food down your throat. Nobody's putting a gun to your head. Nobody's forcing you to make the choices that you're making. No one's forcing you to eat the things that you're eating or skip the workout class. These are all decisions that you are making. It took me way too long to realize that anytime I was looking to my left or to my right to talk about what I am or am not doing, that was just me copping out. It didn't feel good for me to take responsibility for this journey because I had to also take responsibility for the results then. If I could blame my husband who wasn't focused on always eating healthy, then that would make me feel better about why I'm not losing weight. But I had to take a step back and be like, well, he's not trying to lose weight. So why the hell would he be doing behaviors that are aligned with your goal? Your goal is none of his business and vice versa. Like what he's trying to do over here is literally none of your business. Stay in your lane. Stop blaming your family for not stocking your house with healthy groceries. Stop depending on other people to get up and move their ass for you. Like that's just not how it works. You can be proactive regardless what situation you are in. We have seen so many people who I admire so much who lost so much weight during COVID because they figured out how to just work out in the comfort of their own home. That wasn't me. I'm gonna be honest. I used COVID as an excuse for why I got fat. Like I think I gained like 20 to 30 pounds. I wouldn't get on the scale because I was terrified to see that number had reached an unprecedented high. But I was determined to blame it on everyone else other than me and my choices and my lack of accountability for my own body. So this is some tough love, I know. But trust me, I wish somebody just slapped me upside the head as recently as last year and just told me that like, take responsibility over this. This is something you care about a lot. You really care about this. So either A, do something differently than you're doing right now to achieve different results, or B, stop caring so much. But you can't live in this in-between space where you care so much and you don't like where you're at, but you're not doing anything about it. If you're watching this video, chances are you haven't stopped caring about this. This is something you still have actively decided you want to do for yourself. So I'm just here as a reminder for you that it's really just these tiny incremental behaviors, but you have to pick something and go with it and build from there. That's why I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Like, I f***ed up this past week. Like, I didn't track my calories because it looked bad. It would have looked bad for me. That being said, in the past, when I up, the next day I would just eat something fat for lunch because I'd be like, whatever, who cares? But no, every single day I woke up with the intention of being healthy. I got my workout in, I ate a high protein lunch, and then in the evenings I lost my discipline and I ate a bunch of cookies. But I'm trying to get better, and that's the whole point. I'm trying to get better, and I am taking responsibility for that. I'm not blaming my Tasmanian devil brother-in-law, as funny as it is to call him that. I'm not blaming my period. As much as it might be a factor, I'm not blaming it. I'm not blaming my husband. I'm not blaming Minnesota for just being so cozy and making you want to eat. These are things that I used to say in the past. And I'm not blaming any of those things. I'm taking responsibility and I'm letting you know, here's what happened. Here's what I chose to do. And here's what I'm choosing to do this week to keep myself on track and aligned with my goals. It is not the end of the world. As you could see from my measurements, the stuff is still looking good. And I'm just going to keep on going with this intention and keep getting better as I go. I really hope that this was a helpful mindset shift for you. I cannot tell you how exhilarating it feels to learn to trust myself again, to be able to say that I didn't have my best week, but I have so much faith in myself and so much trust in myself to figure it out this upcoming week and position myself for success. But nothing has felt more empowering than knowing I'm going to continue to show up for myself. Like, I have so much more self-confidence, self-trust, self-faith. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, she's gonna do it. Don't worry about her. She's got it. Don't worry. She might be starting off a little bit slow, but trust me, she's got it. And I want you to feel that way about yourself so much, because forget about transforming our bodies. When you transform the way that you see yourself and the way that you feel about yourself, everything else around you is just going to fall in line. It is law. It has to. I'm so excited for you. I love you so much. As usual, I'm not gonna tell you to like or subscribe. I know you hear that more than enough. But if you like this video, bring a friend with you next time. Let's leave people even more powerful than we found them. I love you so much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.